Hey guys, welcome back to Explore. Today we'll talk about celebrities that lost all their money. Let's head into it. Burt Reynolds. Reynolds has had a long and illustrious career that began when he was a running back at Florida State and continued into the 1970s when he was particularly well known. Since then, he has accumulated so much debt that he has had to resort to selling off his Hollywood memorabilia in order to break even. The truth appears to be that he's taken some of the worst roles in his career, not long after it was determined that he was broke and in desperate need of money. He'll deny a lot of it, but the truth appears to be that he's taken some of the worst roles in his career, not long after it was determined that he was broke and in desperate need of money. Also, make sure to write your thoughts on all celebs on the comment section. Larry King. As of right now, King isn't in too bad of a shape, but in the late 1970s, he was obligated to pay a large number of creditors at whatever cost. Because of his numerous marriages and divorces, even after he was granted his own talk show, the money was insufficient to support his lifestyle. For many years, alimony payments took a significant toll on his finances, eventually leaving him practically bankrupt. As of right now, he's doing much better, but he was on the verge of being completely wiped out for a spell. Wayne Newton. To believe that a man whose name is associated with Las Vegas will not have financial difficulties is naive. However, as a result of his expensive lifestyle, he accumulated around $20 million in debt at one point in time. He was forced to continue performing in order to pay off his debts and cover the cost of his cosmetic surgery. It's difficult to explain to one of Las Vegas's most famous entertainers that no amount of plastic surgery will be able to keep the effects of time and gravity at bay indefinitely. Meatloaf. At the very least, give credit where credit is due. That was Meatloaf's dilemma when it came to properly crediting the man who assisted him in the writing of I Would Do Anything for Love. In the 1980s, the co-writer filed a lawsuit against Meatloaf that nearly bankrupted him. From that point on, the singer created all of his own songs, and he has since made a successful comeback in the industry. One thing he will not do, luckily, is give up his principles. Toni Braxton. Braxton seemed to have exaggerated her own celebrity despite having an incredible voice and enjoying a respectable run of success. She continued to spend even when the earnings from her song began to trickle in, and then eventually dried up completely. This resulted in 2 bankruptcies in less than 5 years, with a possibility of a third on the way in the near future. According to rumors, she was still permitted to acquire a $3 million property, despite the fact that she was still in debt to the tune of $50 million. Yeah, it's probably realistic to anticipate that she'll be filing for bankruptcy number 3 in the near future, if she hasn't already done so. Sinbad. After Necessary Roughness, he didn't really do anything noteworthy that was worth mentioning. He appeared in a few less than stellar films, and didn't achieve much in terms of television and popularity, but he was still a well-known comic who was well liked by the public. The IRS discovered that he owed them $8 million, and he was forced to surrender his house and file for bankruptcy in order to extricate himself out of the hole he had unintentionally dug himself into. Mickey Rooney. Rooney really declared bankruptcy in the early 1960s, and spent a significant portion of the rest of his career attempting to recover from the situation. He had a net worth of $12 million at one point, but when he filed for bankruptcy, he only had around $500 in his bank account. There is evidence to suggest that the former child star didn't spend his money effectively and instead indulged in more pleasure than he could have afforded when he was younger. By the time he passed away, he'd fortunately managed to get out of that hole. Pamela Anderson. After the success she had on Baywatch, the numerous cameo appearances she's made over her career, you'd think she would be set for the rest of her days. She was enjoying the time of her life, from plastic surgery to the luxurious house to the partying and living the high life, until she was discovered by the Internal Revenue Service. Because of her failure to pay her taxes, this former lifeguard found herself drowning in debt for quite some time before she was able to find a means to climb out. Gary Busey. How many actors do you know that are paid to be insane for a living in order to pay for rent and bills? Yes, there are a handful, but none that are quite on the same level as Gary Busey in terms of acting ability. A vehicle accident left Busey with significant injuries, and while in the hospital, doctors discovered that he had cancer. His medical costs accumulated to well over $1 million, and he was forced to file for bankruptcy. Since then, he's been acting crazily and out of control on screen, and although many people seem to like it, many don't seem to recognize that a lot of it actually isn't acting, but rather him going insane while trying to pay his rent and utilities. Courtney Love. Being associated with Kurt Cobain, who was widely regarded as a god among artists, and having her own band, didn't appear to endure as long as they should have when it came to the money it both generated for the couple. A terrible drug addiction, along with too much expenditure, caused the singer to have severe financial difficulties, which prompted her to sell the rights to the Nirvana song in which she had an interest, as well as her home. Although many people feel terrible for her, given the conspiracy allegations surrounding Cobain's death, not many people sympathize with her. What do you think about these celebrities? Do you know that they lost all their money? Let us know in the comment section. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.